This week, we graphic designed. And then we swapped graphic designs. And then the other person did graphic design on the graphic design. Where we made a final graphic design, if you could believe, on our graphic design podcast, hosted by two graphic designers who care about graphic design. I think you'll like it.
I got the alarmo, by the way, the Nintendo alarm clock that I bought last episode. I haven't seen it yet. I was leaving the building today, and Katie goes, we left together, and she looks to the right. She looks at the little, there's the mail room, which is locked, and I checked the mail room yesterday. It wasn't there. I thought it came yesterday. I was like, interesting. We walk past, and there's like a secret little door, and Katie goes, I think that's your alarmo. And I was like, huh? And she's like, there's a Nintendo box in there. And I'm like, that's my fucking alarmo. And I think the doorman who thinks he's good friends with me, if he listens to the pod,
is he the electric scooter man?
He is the electric scooter man.
Okay.
I think he thinks that, I think he wants to start, like, he wants to chat with me about it because it's like, cool. So he's holding my fucking mail. I doubt that's what's happened, but I'd like to think that's actually what he's doing. Yeah, he's waiting.
That's beautiful.
He's waiting to have a chat about it. He's gonna be like, "Oh, Elliot, alarmo," and I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Interesting."
You should get an electric scooter.
The way he scooted
the block
around
together.
I wish I got that on tape. Just him doing a lap in the garage is the funniest thing. Is that electric scooter? Just does a lap. Brilliant. Like, yeah, I know.
Do any tricks on it?
No, just a clean lap, just around the block, around the garage. Can you imagine me just standing there gawking at him, going, "Cool, man."
He was hoping he really wanted you to go like, "Yo, can I?"
Yeah, let me jump on that real quick. And I would have written.
And then you
off.
leave, and you never come back.
Exactly, I would have right out the door. And he could keep the alarmo.
Fair trade.
Yeah.
For electric scooter. That's beautiful. I'm happy for you. I hope it makes an appearance next episode.
Thank you. I can't wait. I think it will. It might finally replace ADHD clock.
Right. Before you knew about the ADHD clock.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Say the line.
I know you did say it.
You always say the line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Guys, welcome. I think this is the first time I've ever started it. Maybe I forget. It used to be the thing back when this was a podcast and not a collaborative YouTube channel.
Right.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Kelliot. My name is Kel,
and my name is Elliot,
and we are designers who care. Someone commented saying that this whole time they thought my name was Kel, which I thought was quite funny as well.
Wait, that's a gag. That really was funny.
Yeah. And I was like, true. And you know what gave it away?
True.
You know what made people realize? I put arrows on our names to point at which screen we were using. I finally did it.
You know, what a world to live in. But you know what? I can't exactly blame them.
I think there were enough context clues.
That means that you don't follow us on anything else other than Kelliot, and that's just like a humble, simple Kelliot listener.
And I love that.
They're not like tangled in the Kelliot cinematic universe. They're just here for this, and I love that for them.
Oh yeah. And I think that actually makes up a good 5% of our audience. I do think people have started finding us on, never heard of us before until Kelly. And I'm like so happy that that's happening.
That's so funny to me. Wow.
Shows how much we post on YouTube, eh? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, welcome.
YouTube. Who would have thought?
What an audience we've built. What a community. It's so awesome seeing everyone. Thank you again to everyone who came to my show and said that they're a Kelliot fan. That was awesome. Hope it was awesome. Hope it was an awesome show. I reckon it was.
I heard it was an awesome show.
I hinted to everyone. I said one day we'll do a Kelliot live tour. Probably when the idea of traveling countries becomes easier. in the distant future. But one day, guys, we can promise you that.
I think it would be fun.
It would be so fun. It would be so fun.
I would just like to go on tour once for something. I think it would be. Is it extraordinarily stressful? Yeah. And painful at times because unless you have a whole team with you, it is exhausting. But you know what? It sounds like a good time.
How would we do it? Would we just we would just drive, you'd drive me around?
Probably. I would drive you around to the very small country.
Yeah. And we'd go coast to coast. We'd see every
no,
we'd probably
we'd probably have to do a split between driving and flying. It just depends, like logistics wise, because sometimes it would just be easier to fly.
Yeah.
And then you have the curse of, are we selling merch at the shows? Who's selling the merch? Merch is how you make money on tour. If you don't bring merch on tour, you don't make money.
We need a tour manager, Kel.
That's another person we have to lug on tour.
Jesus.
Martin.
All the way from the Isle of Man. That could be fun.
That would be a really funny group. You, me, and Martin on tour. You'd be like, hey guys.
Here we go. Road trip with our British friend.
Our British.
What a good guy.
British friend. I think it would be very fun. 10 dates. Which is small, but possible.
I love it. Well, and I think it's just what I like about my show is that, or what helps about doing what has helped about my show is that most of the audience knows who I am when they go into it, so they get it a bit more easy. Like, but if no one's looking at Kelliot live show who doesn't know us and go, I'm gonna check that. Like, no, like it'll just be people who. It's just Kelliot fans, which means that the fans can meet them. You can meet each other in the audience.
Yeah.
You can go on your own, and you know that you've got something to talk about to the person.
That's
next
like the
to you.
big thing.
It's beautiful.
With, like I work with Evolution of a Snake. Wonderful. One of the only podcasts I can actually bear listening to. And like I've heard from like so many people, they're like, I want to go, but I don't know anyone else who listens to the podcast. And it's like every podcast user feels that same thing though. Like you always feel like, well, I don't know anyone who also listens, so I'm not going to go. But it's like, no, go, because the entire audience is also people who are like, I don't know anyone else who listens to the podcast, so I go alone. Like it's a very different thing from like a concert. Like concert, it's easier to like bring other people to because you're like, oh yeah, I like that band or something. But like podcast, very specific. So I think it would be fun because that's like where you meet, especially for like social or like pop culture commentary. Like I feel like you could really meet a lot of other people that you vibe with in like podcast audiences or just like content audiences that's not like music, like live music based, if that makes any sense. But yeah, maybe one.
And we also have the shared interest of like design, which is like what I think I found about my show as well. People would come in and there were a lot of like current students or grads especially, or just people getting started in the industry, and they were meeting other people, and I was like, that's really cool. I'm glad that it was basically a design talk. It was basically a design talk at the end of the, like it was a community. You were
basically Adobe Max.
Did it for the community. Yeah.
So
generous.
Yeah. Canva Create.
Who? Not invited because they thought that someone else was organizing the thing. Otherwise, it would have happened. But it was a mistake that meant that we didn't get invited.
And then we weren't invited anyway. But then you wouldn't have gone if we had
because I was in a wedding.
You were out of country.
What could have been? What could have been?
Who would have thought?
Another life. In another life. Kel, what are we doing today,
guys? We're trying something out. And if this format works, we'll do it again.
We'll do it weekly.
We'll do it. Yeah, ideally. Yeah. So here's the thing. So we have this idea submitted to us by our wonderful viewers over on the Kelliot Instagram. Go follow Kelliot Pod if you don't already. Because there are more of you on YouTube than there are on Instagram, which means there are some of you on YouTube who don't follow us on Instagram, and you should remedy that.
You guys don't see the custom
So
posters made for every episode
no,
that we put
we
our heart and
make
soul into.
we make a silly post every week. The tall task of making a single Instagram post every week. And you're missing out on that. So go fix that problem right now. So you guys really want us to do like a design swap, like wife swap, if you will. But
Yeah.
we are swapping.
That was another suggestion.
So we joined the cast of Wife Swap.
Yeah. A lot has happened.
So we are going to do cover art for the Kelliot Song of the Week, if you could believe, for our playlist on Spotify, where we add our song that we are liking that week to this massive playlist that is growing by the week. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to pass it off to Elliot halfway. So I'm going to have a half hour. Elliot's going to have a half hour, and he's going to finish it, and then that's going to become the new art for the Kelliot Song of the Week playlist.
Because currently the playlist is just something I put together last minute because we had to make the playlist. And I've never really been too happy with it. I've always looked at it and gone, hey, we could do better.
We could do better. We could do better. It got the job done for the time being. But you know, there's only up from here. So that's what we're going to do, if you could believe. Which means I have to start.
Yeah, are you ready to? Do you want to jump right into it? I feel free. I don't get to do. I just get to sit here and wait for half an hour.
Let me
prep everything. A word.
Let me open Photoshop. And then and then I'll be good to go. Oh my
There's a lot of logistics that go behind all these episodes, everyone. I hope you all know that. There's a lot
people don't realize.
I just installed a key light, everyone. Now I have a light. Now I shouldn't be so overexposed for half of the episode like I was last time as I slowly just faded into the background.
It really made me laugh when I was watching last week's back, because I, see you through a different camera normally than the one that's actually recorded. So I was like, he's not fading into the background through my view. And then when I watched the actual footage back, you were literally just like, it was just like white wall and then like your face.
Honestly, shout out to the white balance of my webcam that never seems to overexpose me, and yet my camera, well, it's on manual, that's the issue. And sometimes I'm blessed with a lot of natural light, everyone, but that means that when it's one of these weird overcast days that comes and goes, it would be enough actually. When I remember I had to do I made a design course on 21 Draw, and I left it to the last minute because every day I'd sit down and try and film, and then I'd look at the weather and go, well, it's not a good filming day. It's too it'll change. It's not consistent enough. I needed a perfectly consistent day. But if it was sunny, it was too bright. So I needed a consistently overcast day for the entire day. And that is hard to find in Sydney. So that took a lot of time to do. Never doing that again. Never doing a little short course again. Holy shit.
It's a lot of work.
It is so much work.
That's why I haven't done one.
So much self-doubt. Yeah. Imagine getting like 5. I filmed a whole Skillshare course just to get to the end of the entire filming thing and going, none of that is worth publishing. And just said, I'm not doing it anymore.
And you could say that's a really valuable skill to have. And more people should have that forethought.
I don't publish anything I don't think is worth posting. I got to make everyone clear on that. I'm not, even if I'm getting paid for something, I'm not posting it if I'm pulling out of the contract if I don't like it. I have to. I just, I mean, there was a gig that I did recently where I had already been paid for it. I was about to pull out for it. Then I realized I'd already been paid for it. And Martin was like, hey, you've already been paid for it.
That's the worst possible situation
fuck.
to be in.
Yeah. Legit. I was like, all right, I'll get it done. And I don't see those on Instagram short enough, everyone. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine content.
Okay. Are we ready? Can you
I'll start the timer. Of course. I'm going to do 60 minutes and then pause it at halfway. Your timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yippee.
Fun fact, everyone, I added a timer to the design video of us last week. And it's interesting because you would think, Kel, and I'll need your full attention for this. Maybe that's part of it. I distract the shit
I
out of
think I know what the problem is. Does it have to do
Yeah.
with the timer and the frame rate being off?
No, it was more
Oh.
the timer. I thought there was like a feature in Premiere Pro where
No,
you could
there's
add a
not.
timer. No,
No.
there used to be. It was
I
called
know
time
that
code.
tutorial you watched.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is now in the obsolete section. I couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
fucked dealing with the obsolete section. So I
Don't
found
don't try to find
uh,
plugins for the obsolete section.
no. Oh
Don't.
god. I'm like that's going to destroy
Don't.
everything. So
Don't
what I
do
did
it.
was I just I searched up 1 hour timer download, and then I found a video in a nice enough font of a 1 hour timer, downloaded it, and there's
Why?
just an MP4 overlaid
Why
onto our thing of 1
can't
hour.
this is where After Effects comes in. This really good. As if I know there's a timer thing in After Effects. I have no
Of course
clue.
it does. It's got everything.
I have a sketch. Sorry.
What the hell is
of what I'm
this?
doing. And I forgot already. Can I put my... I'm going to set up my notebook right below the camera. Next to... What, you ask? A picture of Harry Styles.
Hey!
Anyway, my coworker at Live Nation gave me that. So I have to keep it in my office forever.
Forever. That's how it works. Yeah, Premiere Pro really pisses me off sometimes, but it's all I know. And the idea, every time I open up fucking DaVinci, I go, today is the day. And then I go, oh, but I actually really want to get this video up like ASAP, so I'm just going to use the one that I know. And then I take a year to make the video anyway. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm excited for...
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to distract you or disturb you or anything.
You are not distracted.
Do you have any questions for me?
Why?
So what you're seeing on screen, everyone, this is Kel designing, not me.
And I am Kel.
Yes, that is Kel. I am Kelliot. I am Lyot. Actually, that was the better joke.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. It's me, Lyot.
When did we come up with the name Kelliot? You came up with the name.
We were going to do a whole episode on this. I think. No, we won't. I think we. I think
I just lied.
No, we were going to make a sponsored reel about this that we never replied to the email for.
Well, we should still do it.
We should reach out.
It's a good.
It's a good people.
What are we doing, Kelly?
It's for a weapons manufacturer.
Obviously, big fans over here.
We should reach out to them. They were very nice to us. I think Kelliot was. We had a list that we were forming in LA. No, yes, maybe.
Why did you want to do a podcast? Elliot broached me with this idea.
Business opportunity.
Yeah, you were like, I have a business opportunity for you.
I was like, this will be incredibly lucrative. No, I thought that. Well, I think I've always wanted to do a design podcast. I think, or podcasting in general, because
you had a design podcast, girl.
It was hardly design. Did you listen to it?
Yes, of course I listened to it.
Fucking thing. Good Time was fun. I might bring that back one day if I get bored enough, but I won't. Because I think podcasting is. I loved live streaming back when I did like 4 live streams a week, but it's hard because there's a schedule and like. It's but it ticks that box for me of like unscripted content, like something where you can just kind of jump on and have a chat and people will hang around and enjoy that. And I was like, I've always enjoyed doing that. I've always felt quite natural doing that. And that's why Good Time started as a way of like, when I stopped streaming, it made sense. And because my main YouTube channels are very scripted now, so it was like, it used to be unscripted, but now it's so scripted that it's like nice to have a more casual way of chatting with everyone, connecting with my community. And I think I'd always thought like, I feel like Kel and I would do a good podcast. And then when we met, I was like, this could probably work. And then we did that podcast in LA. And I was like,
that
okay,
solidified
this will be
it.
pretty easy.
Our
I was like, this would be
ramblings.
easy. I think it somehow made it worked though. It worked. I was like, yeah, that's easy. It was so much easier in person. The first few episodes when we recorded, that was hard.
That was rough.
Getting used to the delay. Don't listen. Go back. Actually, you know what? Yeah, go listen to those episodes, guys.
And
Things
then
have changed.
be grateful. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I should make a new Kelliot trailer with new clips rather than
please
clips that don't include my fucking sty. Insane. It was on another level. But yeah, I think there's not many design podcasts out there.
There are not.
Most of them are advice focused or interview focused. And I was like, surely there's demand for one that's just
stupid.
Two friends having a laugh. Stupid, exactly. And it means we get to chat every week, which is really cool considering we live so far away.
Exactly.
Which is nice. It keeps friendship alive. I think that's the most important thing. Everyone start a podcast with that friend who you don't see much, guys. That's what I would say. But the name it had to be Kelliot. It had to be Kelliot. That's what we decided. Like,
there's unfortunately no better. Like
it just worked.
You can't. If you have something that works so beautifully as a portmanteau, you'd be stupid to not. Hello, I just deleted my link. You'd be a fool to not.
It's so catchy.
Yeah.
Kelliot. You know, it has to be. I think a podcast's name as well has to be like, it needs to be like,
yes.
And I think Kelliot ticks that box. I think G'daim ticked that box. I was always happy with G'daim.
Yeah.
Because it was like G'day. And I thought that was cute.
And it's like very Australian.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Evolution of a Snake. Because
that's a good one, yeah.
There are so many Taylor Swift podcasts that are like very corny. And I can't think of a single name of any of them because I don't listen to them because they're all like, I don't know, they're like some sort of like pun on Taylor. And the beauty of Evolution of a Snake is part of like Taylor initially being called a snake by Kim Kardashian, the reclamation of being called a snake by Kim Kardashian, leading to a Reputation era, the penultimate Taylor Swift pivotal album. And they called it Evolution of a Snake because they started the podcast when they thought Taylor was going to like take a step back from public life in 2019. And so they were going to do it as like a career retrospective of like how she became essentially Taylor Swift. Yeah. So it was going to be the evolution of a snake being Taylor Swift. So you wouldn't know that it was a Taylor Swift podcast. But it's truly the only Taylor Swift podcast worth listening to. Like, I swear on my life, all the other ones are like, I don't know, it's just not for me.
Do they have such a good name. Do they have a short name, like a abbreviated version? A name for the community? The Snakes.
Yeah, they call their fans the Snakes.
Yeah. That's a classic.
Which I think. But yeah, they have. I don't know, because then it's hosted. I don't know if you know who the Swiftologist is. If you've ever come across him, that's crazy. He's huge on TikTok. He gets in a lot of hot water all the time because he's kind of insane online, but you need people to be a little insane online sometimes.
Yeah, it's very important.
But I like their whole cinematic universe is kind of similar to ours, where they both do their own thing, but then they come together and talk about like pop culture, but mostly Taylor.
Yeah.
And so they each have, Madeline has her own Substack where she does like music review and like lyrical analysis of a variety of songs and stuff. And then Zach does really detailed, like almost like video essay pop culture commentary. Like he just did a really good video on like how Katy Perry has kind of always been this flop and how she'll continue to flop. And it's just like, it's a
I wanna watch
masterpiece.
that. I love that. I've been
And
so
they
immersed in Katy Perry lore right now. It's hilarious.
have you seen the videos of her tour? It's like,
I saw one of like a very simple dance, and I was like, "There's no way this could be real." And then I
she
saw
used a
another
ton of
interview.
AI
Oh, good.
for her like art and stuff, which is just, it's
Yeah.
poetic. It's truly poetic.
I saw that she was like in an interview being like, "It's a video game is the whole point of it, and I'm leveling up throughout it, and I go against the villain who's called the mainframe." I was like,
What?
"How is that? What does that have anything to do with?
What is that?
Anything to do with any?" I don't know if it was for this tour or a past tour. I feel is this current tour a video game themed?
The
It's a
Lifetime
retrospective.
tour?
I think it is. I think there is a narrative, a video game's narrative. I've talked
Well,
about this to a few people, and no one has been like, "Oh, I saw that." So I can't tell. I'm like, did I
it's
even see this?
no, it's
She
just,
held a flower in space, right? She held a flower.
yeah, take up space. Um, she fascinates me. We're just willfully opting into shooting the wonderful album you released like 15 years ago, just ruining it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. She dug the hole. She's in herself.
California girls. Hot and cold. Oh wow, this is some. Yeah, I'm surprised she's still making music.
She shouldn't. She really.
That was my childhood.
She had the choice of not taking the route that she did, and you reap what you sow.
So true. So true. How's the design coming?
How much time do I have left?
You have 17 minutes. Plenty of time.
Yippee!
Yeah, you've
Okay.
been flying. Can't wait for everyone to enjoy the nice contrast of design speeds.
I mean, people seem to really like the pace that you brought to the table last week of doing absolutely nothing and then locking in.
45 minutes. Yeah, there were some great comments around that. Someone said I had my SpongeBob moment where he's writing the essay there, and I was like, "Yep, that was me with just hello on it for so long, for so long." And I think that it was a hare and the tortoise thing, but we both tied in the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's
We're all
something beautiful
winners.
about that.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, we're going to start doing an intense cash prize. We're going to for these episodes. The winner is going to get the monthly Patreon income of can you imagine?
That would be fun.
And guys, there will be a bonus episode today. So make sure to head on over to the Patreon.
Yeah, guys, did you know we have a Patreon? Did you know we have a Patreon? And you should go join us over there if you want extra content.
There's a great backlog of stuff over there. They've always been all the Patreon apps. Unmet kelliot is what it's called. It's when the meds have worn off and the chat is all over the place. And it is awesome. And we've done it for, I think there's around 14, 15 episodes in there or something. There's quite a few. So,
and there's like some good stuff that we weren't comfortable putting on the public side.
We get personal. We get vulnerable.
Yeah. Way more. That it sounds like we're joking. We're not.
We haven't cried or anything, but no, we do. We get deep, and that's what those paid community is always for. That's quite poetic.
I have no tears left to cry, as Miss Grande would say.
Great song.
I've cried all my tears for graphic design. I've cried them all out.
I'm thinking of a poster I can make out of that.
I lied. I cried. I'm trying to think about the last time graphic design made me cry. It was maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. Graphic design made me cry.
Yeah.
Over.
Do you want to share with us?
I'm under NDA.
Oh.
It was, loosely.
I know. Yeah. I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it has not gotten better. So.
Wow.
Diva down.
Yeah. Last time I cried over graphic design, was probably I was watching maybe I've got nothing here. There's going to be a joke about watching a tutorial or something, and it brought me to tears because I realized how much time I'd wasted. Tutorial? The Blue Lightning TV neon sign tutorial. Actually, you know what made me cry? Looking at the Blue Lightning TV neon sign tutorial, being like, what a beautiful tutorial. I wonder what he's doing these days. And then seeing that all the recent stuff has just been about how to make images in AI and how to prompt and all this shit. And I'm like, no, we lost that. Blue Lightning TV. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it worth it for the views? But I do think that it's those tutorial channels. No. But he's a legacy tutorial channel. And I think that there's a few of those who, you've got that one tutorial and no one will make a better tutorial. So it's always going to be,
that's just going to go back to that one tutorial. Vintage 80s illustrated rock t-shirt tutorial that I watch on like a weekly basis. It's so good.
There's always just that one, like that. For me, it's every time I need to make a neon sign, I'm going back to Blue Lightning TV. It's just a great form. And that will just keep your channel alive for forever.
Yeah.
Made a timeless video. I think I managed to make a timeless video with the designing in every program ever made. That one consistent has never dropped off views. That one gets bloody 50K a month. It's easy.
Beautiful.
50K USD. Imagine. But yeah, you can really, that's the goal with all this stuff, is how do you get that timeless, how do you make something timeless? And the truth is you don't know until you make it.
Right. Taylor Swift wrote a song called Timeless.
So did The Weeknd and I think Playboy Cardi.
That's beautiful.
And there's a movie called Limitless, which is different, but it's
which is a different word.
Which is a different word, yeah.
Like entirely.
And you have less time than you did before. Now you only have 12 minutes left.
Okay.
Something there. I've been playing for those at home. So maybe some people can resonate with this. I've been playing the video game Blueprints. Everyone, Blueprints. Blueprints is in the Royal Prince, but it's also a play on the word blueprint because that's what you do a lot of that in the game. And
is this a game you're playing on the Pooter?
On the PlayStation, I'm playing it on.
You have a PlayStation?
I have a PlayStation 5. Thank you very much.
Why am I just now finding out about this?
I got one when they were really hard to get here. I remember I was like really
Same.
I moved out and I was like, I need a PS5. Yeah. And I got the only one that was available at the time was the disc version. The one that you had to put there's the digital version and the disc version.
Isn't that better?
And disc version was more expensive but offered barely any new features. And I was like, I'll get that and I'll just get the games on disc because the digital one isn't on sale for ages. Never bought a disc to this day.
But then you can own physical media.
It's true, but then you got to get up from the couch and put the disc in the thing. Like, come on. Show me a console that can store up to 5 discs at once. Then I'll take
a car.
Then you'll have my money, Nintendo. Yeah, cars can do it. And why can't I play PlayStation in the car?
Yeah. That's what a Tesla is pretty much.
I've seen people do that kind of I don't know if I told it last week, but my driver on the way to Sri Lanka, the way to Gold Fort, which is where I was staying, from Colombo Airport at midnight, 3.5 hour drive. About halfway through, bro started scrolling TikToks to keep himself awake, and I was like, go for it, man. Honestly, go for it, dude. Do you need this? I'm not judging. Lock in.
While driving?
Lock in, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And raining and going very fast. He was really like... yeah, honestly. And
don't knock his accessibility skills.
And he, his eyesight. I was my friend who we stayed together. She was sitting behind him, and I was sitting on the one that could see what he was doing. So we get out, and I'm like, that was scary. And she's like, why? I was like, he was. I'm like, what? Don't worry.
He was on his For You page.
He was giving 50-50 attention to each, I think.
That's beautiful.
And barely any audio, so I think he was pretty locked in.
Oh, damn. That's even crazier.
Oh, yeah. It was a lesson to be learned. If you get into, a new country you've never been to before, maybe it's worth staying a night at like if you get in at midnight, it's probably worth staying a night in the major city near the Colombo, the biggest city in Sri Lanka. Maybe worth staying there for just one night, and then doing the drive in the morning, so you don't check in at 3:30. You check in at 3:30 p.m. perhaps, not a.m.
Right.
But we live and we learn.
You win some, you lose
that was
most.
freaky. Yeah. 3:30 is that's a dark hour. That's scary.
That's a bad.
Scary. Yeah. Oh yeah. Not many street lights are on. That's really like whoa. But we got there fine. Got bit by a few mozzies. You got to be careful in Sri Lanka. Dengue fever is the thing. Dengue.
And you got your vaccines in time?
Dengue fever does not have a vaccine.
Oh, okay.
I got my vaccines did I mention in Kelly that my vaccines, I left them out of the fridge and they ended up expiring and I had to buy them again and get another consultation and it ended up costing me $450 fucking to get vaccinated.
See, this is the cost of ADHD.
Legit, like, and I'm sorry, if the doctor tells me, oh, go downstairs, get the vaccines, come back up and the nurse will give it to you. And then they say the nurse is on lunch and I say, when's she coming back? And she goes, oh, well, she's on lunch and then she finishes.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Like, you're allowed to do it. I thought you had. I remember when I worked a real job at Optus selling phones. I would do a similar thing where if the store was too busy. Oh yeah, well, it was hard work. They wanted to throw phones at me. Someone nearly did. Once at a wall and then
Maybe
once threatened.
Deserved.
We had pretty. Look, there were a lot of sales tactics that we were told to buy into. Otherwise, we'll lose our job. So I definitely, I was young. I just took it as though I was just like, I'm a good salesperson because I'm doing this. And the Oms were born to sell. I'll always say that. We're naturally gifted with the ability to sell. How else would I get to this point in my career, everyone, if I couldn't sell myself, right? And it was just a miscommunication a lot of the time. When we're telling customers that, today you're not only leaving with a phone, you're leaving with a pair of Beats headphones and our special bundle deal.
This fucking story.
Pair of Beats headphones valued at $480 Australian. It's a special bundle deal. And they say, oh, it's free? I just want the phone. I say, no, it's a special bundle deal. See the price?
It's in your, you didn't answer the question.
I said, I asked you for your budget. You said $100 Australian. So you're leaving with a $105 Australian a month plan. Without the Beats, it's $85 a month, but it's a special bundle deal. You don't need, and then 1 in a million would come back. 1 in a 10 would come back and say, I just looked at my contract. I'm paying $20 a month for a pair of Beats headphones. They're still in the box. And we go, that's okay. We'll refund you. But then, it gets a bit weird when your colleague does that to someone, but the guy's best friends with the CEO of Optus, so he complains to the CEO of Optus, and then my colleague faces the consequences of his actions. I guess it was but our manager, for all his faults, like saying that women were a cancer in the workforce, and getting us to do quite illegal stuff. He took us go-karting once, and that was into an escape room as well.
Oh, I
and
feel
that
like
really
that's not that crazy.
That was real fun. Go-karting with the team, unpaid, on a weekend.
That's just average. I feel like that's not that crazy. Not to minimize your experience.
No, it's a thing, right? You do the team building stuff.
Yeah.
Did you do that at any agencies?
Yes. One day we had to do a painting class with like a team chemistry lady.
Oh.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It
5
was
minutes
horrible.
left, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was with the boss that nearly made me want to fucking kill myself. It was horrible.
Was it at least like a paint and sip class or something, or was it just?
Yeah, I mean, we would regularly like drink at work.
All right.
There. When I was at Live Nation, they had an open bar all hours.
Right.
Naturally.
Wow. I feel
Also
like
open.
Canberra is like that. The Canberra rooftop is the most stocked place I've ever. I go, what the fuck? It's on tap
Elliot,
and in can.
that's how we do our live show right there.
At the Canberra rooftop. Oh, 100%.
At the
It actually
Canberra
so
rooftop.
is. It actually so is. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, girl. But yeah, we would like be like, I guess like at my old job, they had like unlimited wine or something. So we would like start drinking at like 3, and then when I was at Live Nation, like after like 2, people just would start drinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can go. And then that was the only time I ever saw the Live Nation CEO. Short, bald, if you could believe.
Like one of the brothers from Selling Sunset.
Yep. I was like, that's what you get for being evil. Short and bald. Pick a struggle.
There is something to it.
Yeah. I also saw Snoop Dogg once when I was getting a coffee from the coffee bar. That was fun. And he is so tall, I didn't even notice him.
Yeah. Wow.
Like,
well, because you're so short.
I'm so tiny.
Yeah.
And obviously I look at the ground all day when I walk. Yeah, we were like coming back from getting coffee, and like someone got out of a Sprinter van, and I was like, okay, I work at Live Nation. This happens all the time.
But it
and
was
then I was like,
Snoop
wait,
Dogg.
And he was in like a Baroque velvet like 2-piece tracksuit.
Oh my god, sick! Yeah.
And I was like, what is this fit, brother? This is crazy. But yeah, he was the only one that I saw like just out and about when I was working there.
I saw a Instagram post about an art installation where the whole thing was, it was like a party, like it was to meet people, but everyone wore like different size stilts to make everyone the exact same height.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, this is really like, what a cool idea. And then I thought in the comments it'd just be classic people laughing and stuff, but instead it was a bunch of really vulnerable messages from people on the shorter side talking about how hard it is looking up at everyone all the time and feeling looked down on. And I was like, fuck, wow. That's I'm pretty happy with my height. You know, it's like, it's been pretty it's nice. It's nice.
It's harder for some of us, you know, vertically challenged folks.
Yeah. Because Kel's like half my height. We gotta do a live show. It'll be so fun.
I know.
Maybe we can work something out when I'm over there.
I think that could happen very easily.
But if anyone gets the word out, then they're gonna fucking ban my visa for 5 years. But I won't get paid for
Kelly's on a couple lists, God forbid.
Yeah.
You can't be on a couple lists anymore, you know?
No. Can't say anything these days. I'm having to be very careful with what I post on Instagram until I get back from America. I love this. I love it.
Anyway.
1.5 minutes left.
Okay.
I'm very excited to see what you've got for me.
I did the very elaborate
Nice. Love that. I think I'm good at. I love using like an existing asset, so this will help me. I think this is when I'm at my best.
You'll have I didn't want to do too much because I wanted to like give you playroom.
Thank you.
To
good
like
team member.
Do more.
Yeah.
So delete. Thank you.
And which version of Photoshop are we using?
I'm in 2025. What are you using?
It's 2024. No, it's fine. It's just the mouse doesn't do. It's fine. I'll make it work. Everyone. I just have Logitech and Adobe don't talk to each other that much in the latest version for some reason. The mouse scroll wheel doesn't do it. 30 seconds left. And have you got any fonts just to make sure? Oop. Lovely. I get to do type. Very generous. Oh, you've done hand lettering. Yeah. Wait, you're Kel Lauren, right?
I didn't do all the type, is what I'll say.
Okay, cool.
I could have. There's more type in my sketch.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just
5,
gonna leave.
4, 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Okay. Let me. Actually, I'm not gonna delete any layers. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Keep it as is. Keep it as is.
Okay.
I'm gonna be hiding and unhiding everything.
Okay.
But what I want to look, I will not be removing anything from this piece. I may potentially slightly adjust composition.
That's fine.
Okay, great. Just making sure we're on the same page. Everyone. If this goes wrong, this podcast could fall apart. What's kind of wild, we are still a very, this is a baby channel when you really think about it, considering how many episodes we've only done so many. It's kind of awesome. I look forward to the future. I think Kelliot will be, okay, that's going to be awesome.
Okay, I'm emailing. Oh wait,
sick.
I'm not. I don't know.
We'll do a little cut thing until it gets to the yeah. Elliot the best at that. My original email was elliottnuggets@live.com. Everyone, can you believe it? Because I used to love chicken nuggets, and I wrote a diary about all the chicken nuggets that I ate. It was awesome. Anyway, guys, we'll be right back. We're back. That was the longest 30 minutes of my life, not designing, and I'm ready to design. And I haven't seen it yet. Kind of have, but
he cheated.
This is my first. How was I meant to? What was I meant to do? What was I meant to do? It was.
God forbid
it's in the thumbnail of the.
It's right there.
God forbid the thumbnail was attached in the email. Whoa! Very cool. Very, very cool. This is great stuff to work with. What have we got? How have you done? Talk to me a tiny bit about.
We'll open the file.
I've opened the file. The file's here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can look at the actual.
If you look with your eyes.
Layers. Newsflash, everyone. Kel doesn't name their layers. Okay.
Rarely.
We take advice from them.
When you
take advice from them. You literally take advice from them.
When you have layer, when you name layer.
When client sees name layered. When designer sees name layered.
When you name file final .psd final.
Okay, this is great. I can work with this. I can very much work with this. I'm loving this jelly type. I'm loving these hidden layers under here.
I was just trying stuff. I left the tittle off because I didn't like anything that I was coming up with, so I thought you could do something fun.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Did you try? Oh, yeah. You tried the little.
I had a couple.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. I'll have a go.
It wasn't calling out to me in the way that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I wanted something freaky deaky, and it wasn't freaky enough.
Yeah, sick. I can do something with that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the mouse works the way I want it. Sorry, just
Yay.
new. Just they updated it. It's so exciting. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna start the timer in. I'm gonna write this down so I can make sure.
Okay, wait. Let me start the timer. Wait, let me start one on my end just so I have an approximate time.
Yeah, nice. This is fun.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Yippee! Okay.
Let's see how we go.
All right.
I kind of want to use that the original image from to pay homage to the that one not the tunnel but the one
the deep fried
one with that weirdly has the screenshot of the camera app. Yeah,
that was, I don't know how my phone fucking did that. It just did. It took a screenshot, but it was like frozen on the screen with like the face frame focus thing.
That could be a fun addition. I might chuck that in. I'll chuck that in here.
Chuck it in there.
I'll find it. Oh, but it's on the fucking. It's on.
Do you want me to text it to you? Would that make it? time. I won't.
please.
Okay. um, let me go.
And then I'll just
Freaking.
blur out my messages to keep my privacy. Okay, everyone.
Okay.
And also because I haven't changed Kel's contact name, and it's still this. It's just an email
What
address.
is it? What is it?
It's your contact name is just. There's no contact. I don't have any. I was added to a group chat for a show that I'm going to the other night with 5 people in it. I don't have a single one of their numbers, and it's just 5 phone numbers. And I'm trying to piece together who each person is. It's really
that's
difficult.
the best.
Yeah.
Okay. God, I have so many pictures of my cats.
That's the thing that my phone is missing, I think, because I don't live with the cats anymore. Of course you take photos of them. It's just there's something they don't, they need to be preserved.
God, these pictures are so funny.
Yeah.
You were just in like a state of disrepair eating a roll.
Guys, part of the reason I want to go to Portland so bad is so we can get more photos together, because it makes it incredible. Like I made a full brief for an animated intro, okay, with very talented animator. I was very excited to work with the guy. And then he was like, "Do you have any more photos?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll get some." And I never did, because we don't have any more. And I was too embarrassed.
We'll take some. We'll do like
some,
a whole thing. We'll do a whole
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. It's a business trip. It's not, though. It's a holiday. I'm on holiday.
No taxes.
No tax. I'm literally on holiday. Did you send the photo?
We're not making money. Yeah, I texted it to you. You have do not disturb on.
Of course. There we go. Okay, we can. Yeah. Okay.
I'll
do something with this. Yeah. This is definitely. I gotta kind of fly through this a bit. How are you? Are you relaxed now? Are you enjoying your time off?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Nice. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Guys, I made my shirt. I'm gonna do Elliot.
Oh yeah, please. This was so cool.
Ta-da!
Incredible.
Let me stand on the squeakiest part of my floor. And in my pants. I also made my pants. So, they're very
Can
cool.
you comprehend the talent, everyone? Can you even comprehend the talent? I couldn't.
Like, the stripes are so tremendously hard to pick up on camera. But yeah, contrasting stripe pocket seersucker pants that have a half elastic waist, half non-elastic waist, so they're comfortable. Like, I have a new work uniform. I wanted to look like I work at I don't know, maybe a paper store or something. Maybe like an art supply store. And then my buttons, I have the bottom 5 buttons are the same, and then the top 2 buttons are different because I didn't have 7 buttons of the same button, and like 7 is just so many buttons to have. So anyway, I can't stop sewing, guys. Something has bit my brain and laid eggs, and it's all I want to do, and it's really like starting to interfere with my work. But I'm having a lot of fun. Like, I love making my own clothes. I think it's so satisfying to make your own clothes, and I think everyone should figure out some sort of fiber art in their lifetime, like crocheting or knitting or embroidery or cross stitch, or sewing. So I do all of the above, but I think sewing is the most fun because I've always liked apparel. I always liked clothes, but I started sewing when I was really young. My best friend's mom taught me how to sew, or taught me how to use a sewing machine when I was like maybe 10. And shout out Mary.
Shout out to Mary.
Shout out to Mary, my queen. She taught me how to sew. So I just grew up sewing. I love it. I love it so much. I've made a couple quilts. I was in quilting when I was in 4-H. I don't love making quilts. You would think I would like making quilts because I love blankets, but quilting just requires so much space that I just don't have. Like quilting, you just like always need every piece of your quilt out. And like people have like quilting rooms where like it's just for their quilting stuff. And people have sewing rooms too, but like quilting is just you need such a big thing. Um, but if anyone sews and they know a bit about sewing, I am in the market for a serger. I don't have a serger. So if you have a serger recommendation, please do let me know. Because I do want to get one to make my sewing journey a little bit easier. So,
I thought a serger was a surge protector.
it is a miniature looking sewing machine. It's like it looks like if you took like a sewing
Yeah, they're very
machine and
cute.
then just scrunched it, and then all it does is finish seams, which seems really like you need a whole machine for that. Yes. Short answer, yes,
When
you
I
do.
searched up serger for the first time, the first search term that popped up was "Do I need a serger?" which I always think is so funny.
I
And I think those are the
love
best types of purchases.
I love like the little suggested questions of like when you Google something and then like you think like I think this is a really reasonable question to Google and then like you see the other questions as like people also searched and then it's like the dumbest question you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like, damn. Wow. But yeah, no, you don't need a serger, but it is really helpful um because it just cuts down on your actual sewing time. Because finishing seams is so boring.
Mm.
It's so boring. Um, so that's what I need. My sewing machine is a Brother. I love Brother sewing machines. My first sewing machine was a Singer. This is only my second sewing machine. I got it for my 16th birthday. I am 29, and it still works
Hell yeah.
like a beast. And when I got my sewing machine taken in to be serviced last year, the man at the sewing repair shop, my diva, um, said that there was damage on my machine that he doesn't see very often. And the damage is typically only acquired by, or at the point where sewing machines are at the end of their life, they'll have these signs of wear and tear. My machine is not at the end of its life, according to him, but it did have the signs of wear and tear of a machine that could possibly be at the end of its life. So the the pieces that he had to replace were things that he had to special order because he's like, I never have to replace these pieces because it means that typically the machine is done when you
Yeah.
have to replace these parts. But nope. And he was like, what on earth are you sewing to wear down a couple of these pieces? And I was like, canvas, denim, upholstery fabric, fleece. like the hardest materials to sew through and then the fuzziest materials to sew through, which just get all sorts of little tiny fuzzies into the mechanics of the machine. Because I make cat beds, as one does. Of course, I have
Of
Sherpa and fleece.
course.
Um, but yeah, I have the Project Runway limited edition PC420 from Brother, and it is a powerhouse of a machine. I love it. It is a beast, and it's still kicking. So I know I'm gonna need a new machine soon, but
Until that day comes,
until that day comes, I'm gonna have to get. I want a Juki. It's a Japanese sewing brand,
Yeah.
and they are beautiful machines. They're like they make like industrial machines, um, which I also know how to use. It's what I used when I was in college. So, how's your design going?
It's going. It's going. It's going.
It's
I think
going.
it's. I think
Ball's
I found
rolling.
like a font, like some kind of text that pairs nicely with it. I think the photo has thrown a bit of a spanner in the work. I don't know if I want to use it anymore. But I think
You're not making it deep fried enough. You have to deep fry.
I know
Drop it
that's
in
what I'm
the
trying to
oil.
think. I'm trying to drop in the oil, and then what do we do with the rest of it? Down the
You
sink.
pour it
Down
down
the
the
sink.
drain.
Down the sink. Down the sink. Down the sink. Down the sink.
Right down the drain. Right down the right down the drain.
Right down the drain.
Uh,
But no, I think it's.
Beautiful.
I think something's gonna happen for sure. I think, like I'm looking at this and I'm going, cool.
I believe it,
But
yeah.
time flies. It's already been 10 minutes. I can't believe that. I cannot
Yeah.
believe that. Um, how long has the 10 minutes felt like for you?
I thought it had been 15 to 20.
Yeah, right. Does
So
it? It
that's
does it
fun.
to you. It's such an interesting experience.
Two people with ADHD. Is, if I may, what is the most
Yes.
frustrating thing about your ADHD? Like what is something that still pisses you off this deep in your journey?
Ah,
Like if you could pin it on one symptom that
it's
you're
the
like, God
it's
damn it.
like the oh, it happened to me
I
the
feel
other.
like there's so many
It's still,
things.
yeah. There is still so many things that I still like. I think I'm still trying to shake the fact that it's like it's not going to solve everything. It's
Yeah.
the bad days are still so bad,
Yeah.
and I think that they just like I will feel so flat, like the burnout, right? The burnout
Mhm.
that like I can now predict when it will come on, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it's not just when I've been doing too much work. It's more like I'm now realizing it's maybe when it's too much like socializing or something. Like it's
Yeah.
the battery stuff.
That's how it is for
And it's
me.
just, yeah, it's like it used to be this flatness that I couldn't describe or didn't want to admit to, I think was the main thing. Like I didn't want to, I'm like, I'm always full of joy. This is just, I'm just tired. I'm just
Mhm.
tired. And then now it's like a flatness where I can't feel, like nothing can cheer me up. Like it's just time. I have to wait it out, and that's
Yeah.
still so annoying. Like especially living with a partner too. Like I don't want to put it on Katie. I think is the main thing.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to like make her because it can be contagious. I think like when you're around
Yeah.
somebody who's like super flat, but she's great with it. She gets it, which is so nice. But like it's still I still feel I
You
don't
feel like
want
you're
to
in a
talk about it.
pit and you're like, I don't want to
Yeah,
pull someone else into the pit.
yeah, I'm like when I admit to if I admit to her that I'm in the rather than but then I'm like if I keep trying to mask it and pretend I'm fine, it only extends
Makes it
it.
worse.
So
Yeah.
now I always try and tell myself I'm like just fucking say it, say that like
Yeah.
why I feel like I'm like sorry if I feel this way, blah blah blah, and then that will usually get me honestly it gets me out of it a bit more too, which is nice, like knowing that it's happening.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah, it's still
contextualizes
fucking
your behavior
yeah
towards others, especially when you're in kind of like this. Like I've been learning a lot about uh like dysregulation.
yeah yeah
Like that is still a fairly new concept to me, and I've been putting more effort into understanding it more as
mm.
my autism assessment is on Wednesday, so 2 days
Yeah
from
wow
now. I thought it was this morning, so I got up really early because it's at 7. Wasn't today.
yep
Um, and so as I've been like preparing for that, I've been learning inadvertently more about like dysregulation, and it's still really like a big component of ADHD. And just like understanding it more. And it was never really something that came up when I was getting my ADHD diagnosis, as like understanding when you're dysregulated and why you feel the way that you do. Cause I was like,
mm.
dysregulated, it sounds like, I don't know, it wasn't really something that like appealed to me. Like I never really understood it. So I never really paid attention to it as a concept in the
Mm.
abstract of how it applies to my ADHD. But I've been learning a little bit more about it lately, and it really just comes back to like, are my basic needs met? No. That's why I feel like I want to hit someone with a car.
Yeah,
Like it really just
yeah,
comes back to I haven't gone outside, I haven't moved my body, I have not eaten, I have not drank
That's
enough
a good way of
water, I
thinking
haven't
about it.
like it's um
Yeah, I'm trying to get really into like the exercise. Do you feel so much better after exercising? But I just haven't exercised in so long because it's
it
like the idea of getting
really
back into it is fucking crazy. But I know it'll be the best thing for me.
sorry, rush text
No,
from my
that's
art
so
director.
fun.
Yeah, like just like recognizing that, and part of, you know, the ways in which I get dysregulated is like through stress, and that stress can come through like a variety of factors.
Mm.
Um, but I've been trying to like push through the crash that I get sometimes at the end of the day, which is really like because I again live with a partner and I don't I don't want to bring him into it. I don't want to. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
fair. Even though I'm crashing as my meds are wearing off, especially if I'm coming off an instant release, and it isn't fair for me to pull him into my pit. And so I've just learned that, like, because Matt's also autistic, and it's not fair for me to be like kind of moody and just like irritable, because he's not gonna necessarily, like, he understands like generally how I feel. He's very sensitive to like how I'm feeling, but like I don't want to be unnecessarily mean or like overinterpret things because I'm expecting him to read every detail of my mind. Um, and so I've, in like recent weeks, I've just tried to be more upfront and say, like, I'm crashing on my meds. I'm not in a good mood. I need to do X, Y, and Z immediately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I just being very clear with those things. And like every single time, Matt's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, and sometimes like I'll come downstairs and I'm like, I just need to sit here. We need to figure out every fucking day of my life dinner, every day of my life, every day. Oh my God, I hate figuring out what to have for dinner every single fucking day. You could tell it's a pain point for me. Um,
I'm like that with lunch. Lunch just ends my day. I'm like, what do you mean? What am I
yeah.
gonna? What? What do I? I don't feel like anything ever, and it's just it makes
It's like,
me
what do you have for
so
lunch?
annoyed. What do you have for? What the hell? Like I don't sandwich.
Yeah. Like,
That's it. That's my thing always.
yeah.
But no, I think it is the most important thing is like yeah, communicating. I think about
Yeah.
specifically like because it's so hard to like I think like get in someone's headspace of like
Yeah.
where they're at, especially if they don't like. I think with ADHD specifically,
Well, because
like
you're in like this
how
little
do you know?
tangled mess. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like for so long, I just like expected other people to like read my mind when it's like,
Mm.
I don't even know how I'm feeling. Like, it's really difficult for me, possible autism moment. It's very difficult for me to identify what I'm feeling. Like,
Mm.
all I know is like, I feel like I understand why babies just cry. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just easier that way, just to scream. Um, Instead of like going, well, I guess I'm feeling like my blood sugar is low, and I feel like I'm a little frustrated and short tempered because I'm tired at the end of the long. And it's like, no, I'm like angry.
Mm.
I don't know why. Like, help.
Yeah, I hate not knowing why I feel certain ways. That's the
Yeah.
worst. That's so
And that's
annoying.
where the concept of like regulation and dysregulation comes in, because it's like this kind of grounding checklist that you can do with yourself of figuring out, like, there's a box somewhere that hasn't been checked. That's why I'm so miserable right now. That's why I feel really like burned out. That's why I feel like just really irritable, because I feel like I am irritable, but then I'll go through like periods of time where like I'm on cloud nine and I am
Mm.
in a great mood. I'm chilling for like weeks. This is
Yeah,
why
yeah.
they thought I had bipolar disorder. I'm like, no, I think I just have other issues. Um, and just like being able to pinpoint those things has been really eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
Um, and like one thing I've really learned about myself, like especially with art in general, like I feel like sometimes I have this phenomenon where I get really, like, I really want to make something. I really
Mm-hmm.
want to make something, but I can't. And it is like hell. Like I have a creative urge, but I cannot put pen to paper. Like I can't open Photoshop and make something cool.
Yeah.
But like I want to. I really want to. I'm seeking like the dopamine that I typically get from designing or just like making anything, but and I can't. And it's I think that's where my other creative hobbies have kind of come in and saved me, because it gives me the satisfaction of making something. Like that's ultimately like how I regulate myself, is I have to make something. I
Yeah.
have, like, it's the only way that I can calm down, the way that I can kind of come back to neutral, and that is through one of my like handcrafts or fiber arts. So I have to like just sit and crochet for a little bit. I have to sit, and that's where sewing has come in, where I'm under like a tremendous amount of stress with like how much work I have going on this season. Sewing has kind of taken up that void of like preventing me from spiraling and crashing out and just being miserable to be around because I'm so stressed with everything else. So I'm able to channel that into sewing, and it's very satisfying because I get to make stuff that I can wear. So it makes me feel more at ease with myself.
Mm.
Um, and it gets me kind of like, it's my good warm up lap for the day before I actually like start working. I'll like come and sit in my office. I'll drink my coffee. I will desperately scroll to see if any of the content creators that I follow uploaded. And I'm like,
Usually the
please,
answer is
please,
no.
please, 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 please,
Yeah.
please, 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 anything, a crumb. Um, and then I'll sit and either crochet or I'll sew, and I'll take my meds, and then I'll wait for my meds to kick in. And I don't always know, when my meds kick in, but I'm like, I think it's been like 45 minutes or an hour, so they're probably in.
Yeah.
They've been kicked. So that's kind of been my routine. But then like recognizing when my meds are wearing off has been quite a miserable experience. Because sometimes I just feel like there's air in my head, and I'm like, oh wait, it's been like 6 hours since I took my meds. That's why I can't do a single thing anymore. Cool. And then I'll go on a walk, and that's really wonderful. I love
Yeah,
doing
it's
that.
good to know like that you have some kind of like sorry, I've been so locked in.
That, as
It's
you
a
should.
really different experience, isn't it, when you do
Mm-hmm.
the two. Um I think I've got something by the way. I think
Good.
I've tried to do something smart
Okay.
but also cool,
We
but
do
I can't
smart
tell.
things.
Yeah. It's kind of coming together, I think.
Yippee.
Think I don't know. No, it's fine. It'll be I got what, 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Do you get when your meds wear off? Do you get like the nausea feeling, or is it just me? And only after the first one.
Um, I mean, I feel like when I'm dealing with that, it's because I haven't eaten.
Yeah, that's probably me too.
Boxes unchecked.
Here,
Yeah,
here.
lunch is really hard too. I really I feel like I struggle in general with like, not like eating, because I love eating and I love food in general, but like it's always such a hassle for me. If
Mm.
anyone has any tips.
Yeah, legit.
um but like it's always such a chore for me. And already as someone with ADHD, I don't like chores. I don't like chores.
Fuck chores.
Um Reframing cleaning as decorating has really rocked my world.
Oh, I kind of like that.
And as a game.
As a game, yeah, I got to start gamifying like YouTube.
Yeah.
And honestly, I did when the goal was get to 100K, get the plaque. That was a game, like finish the
Now
game.
what?
Now what? A
The
million? A
next one
million?
is
I'm
so
like,
far
that's
away.
impossible. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's like 2 graphic designers on here that have a million. Like, it's not gonna happen. But I'm like, what if I could convince myself that it,
Let's get Kelliot to 1 million.
you know, honestly, Kelly to 100K would be a good little game.
That
But
would be really cool. I would
I
love to
don't
have a
think
second
like,
plaque.
yeah, I don't think Kelly gets to 100K if we don't keep solid. You know what I mean? Like, it's still
Fuck.
yeah, I know. And then that's too far of a
That's
jump.
too, we're asking too much at that point. Even though we should. I feel like I could. I feel like I could. Once I get a new computer, I'm unstoppable.
They're life changing.
Unstoppable again.
God, I love pewter.
I'm really limited by my pewter right now. She didn't sign up for this. She was just supposed to be my travel computer. She wasn't supposed to be doing all the heavy lifting. She wasn't supposed to be recording Kelliot.
Yeah, recording Kelliot is a real big ask for the computer. Not gonna lie, you do ask a lot from them, but you know that sometimes this thing's gotta do it.
That's like the one thing it does.
Exactly.
I mean, today
Talented
I did ask
computer.
it to run Photoshop Illustrator and InDesign all at the same time.
Wow.
And then some of the Photoshop files I had open were like 2 gigs.
PS Baby like?
I was prepping print files and my computer was like, please. Please.
Please no more.
Close Chrome. Please close Chrome.
Yeah, they just don't like Chrome.
No.
Really
I don't know what it is. They want you to use Safari. But Safari also uses a ton.
I will say this podcast is proudly recorded on Microsoft Edge. People don't realize that, but it genuinely does help. This computer is nowhere near as loud as it was when I used Chrome on the thing. But I mean, this is an old bird. This computer's been around I've had this thing for a while. This is an old bird. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. How long have we got?
God, I want a new computer. I want a new computer so bad. I miss having a desktop. Working on a MacBook after working on a desktop for like 4 years is
yeah.
really downgrade.
Wait, did you say you miss having a desktop? Yeah, wow.
I really miss it. I think it was better for my posture in general.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like all the time, but I don't know. I want that Mac Pro. I want that Mac Pro so bad.
They know how to make a good computer.
I just have to justify their cost.
Tax write-off. Yeah.
It's so much money, though.
So much money off your tax, and don't worry. That's how it works.
I still have to pay for it.
Take out a loan. That's what Americans do. Right?
That's true. That's true. Come on, Martin.
A small loan of $1 billion.
It's 10 grand. It's a cool 10 grand.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's true. That's unjustified. That's hard. That's for something that won't last forever. That's like.
But then I remember how much money people spend on like cameras, and I'm like, maybe 10 grand on a computer, as I do this for a living. This is my job.
Yeah.
I feel like I get the value back out of it.
Yeah, I think it could work.
It would make me, this is me rationalizing, I would upload to YouTube more often because I wouldn't have to worry about plugging the right hard drive in. So I have the disk space to screen record. Like I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
If anyone has the Mac Pro or the Studio one, let me know if you like it. I only know one person who has it, and she's a YouTuber, and she said it is a beast. So, and I didn't even know she had it, but she also has the same camera as me, and she recommended it. Drew Gooden also has this camera. Let's talk to him about it.
Ignore that. 1 more minute.
It scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, guys. Woke the cats up.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Drew Gooden recommended this camera to me as well. Friend of the pod. I don't know if he listens.
That'd be cool if he did.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Not gonna lie, that'd be pretty cool.
Drew, come on the pod.
Let us know.
We'll come to Florida. No, we won't.
No, I won't.
Florida, scary.
Florida,
Swift
that's the
has
song. Yeah.
A song called Florida.
I was like, what is it again? In Florida.
It's so crazy that she's invented states,
It's amazing.
cities, years, months, numbers, cardigans.
Okay. I think that's done.
Ready?
Yeah, I think this actually is pretty I think you'll like this, I think. I hope. If you don't, tough.
Okay, and if I don't, well, that's also fine.
Good art is something. Okay, let me.
That's what Picasso said.
I think I'll just send this to you and then have it up on overlaid on the screen.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can see the reaction.
Are you texting it to me?
Yeah, let me just. I'm sorry, I'm just making one final adjustment, just adjusting the levels.
Oh, Gus,
you know
don't do that. Oh, don't do that.
Okay. And stop recording on this screen. Cool. Okay.
Come on. Let's go. Yay. Okay. I'm back.
Nice. Okay, I'm sending it to you. I lost a little bit of detail on the fucking. That's alright. I just realized the stars kind of ended up looking a bit weird. Anyway, okay. Here is the design that I came up with. First reaction. What do you think?
Let me open it full screen. Jesus Christ. That's beautiful. Yeah, you are. I see what you mean by smart. I see the smart.
Because I took the thing. I took the little. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
This part's no. I feel like I've
Great stuff. Oh, you just kept the little star that I already had there.
Well, I took one of the existing stars. I'm now realizing that the existing star has kind of got blown out in the thing, which looks a bit weird. But
this is classic Elliot. This is a classic Elliot.
Yeah. I went to what I know with the layout. Oh yeah. But the text was really fun to work with. That kelliot was great. That was
this is beautiful.
A very enjoyable graphic. I'm pretty happy. I think it turned out pretty well. I think
this is very fun. It's quite nice.
Look at us.
Good stuff. Wow. The little.
There you go. That's the new cover.
Halftone overlay.
Gotta do it. It's always just.
That's
a little something, you know. Adds a little something. Little dissolve effects here and there, you know.
You do.
We do
a little texture. We do a little, you know.
We do what we can, guys.
It's all in a hard day's work.
Yeah.
I accidentally just scrolled to the picture I sent. In the midst of zooming in on the artwork, which is
of the original,
the original photo.
Yeah, it's a real
so funny.
How did that even happen? I love the in the original, the 3 in the bottom right corner, underrated element of the timer going down.
And do you like the pause, the stop button at the bottom?
Yeah,
it's like if my mom took a picture.
Did you just take a screenshot? Is that what happened?
I don't know how it happened. My phone froze when I was trying to take this selfie of us, and this is the result.
With Elliot Alm.
Hence the... Oh, they spelled your name wrong, didn't they?
Yeah, we had Elliot Alm and Kel Lauren, they, them. The two...
Do you know how... This is why, like, we put pronouns on everything. Like, everyone puts their pronouns, so when someone has, like, a different pronoun, it's not like... Look at that! Oh, look, there's something off. Something different.
Everyone else is like, that Elliot Alm guy, normal man, obviously.
It's that other one, though.
I really thought they would have... That was a weird choice for camera. I thought they would have done better than that. I was surprised.
I'm like, graphic design,
come on, just... on everyone.
Yeah.
Tiny little, easy. It's easy. It's an added element. It looks.
It's not like my name.
Instagram did it. That was fine.
Yeah.
Looks, it's not that hard.
We gotta wokeify Canva. Come on, Canva. Get woke.
But I thought they were woke.
I thought they were woke in the woke communist country of Australia. Come on.
There you go. Not all as it seems. Well,
it's tragic.
There you
was
go.
Beautiful.
That turned out really well. What a fun idea.
Yeah, I would like to do that again.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this the only idea we could muster? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it was suggested overwhelming amount of
It was
time.
suggested.
When you look at the
it was very helpful.
it was very the popular choice for sure.
Yeah.
In
These
the
are high
2
flying.
hours that we're up. Yeah, the day you're seeing this, within 24 hours from when we posted that story asking, and we didn't do it because we needed ideas. Like it's a quarterly thing.
We're planning. We're planning.
We're thinking
because we
ahead.
plan long term.
Oh yeah, this is we have strategy. Like it's months of content. And I've lost Kelliot. Yeah, yes, exactly.
I've always said that. Couldn't agree more.
We've always known. I definitely didn't say that you lost internet, and then I got the little thing that popped up that said I lost internet. I felt very ashamed because that doesn't really happen.
It's fair. Track record. I didn't even hear you, bro.
Meow.
He just appeared.
Cheeky bloody cat.
Void.
Amazing. Well, shall we close with our song of the week before we get onto our bonus episode?
Who would have thought song of the week? Song of the week. Okay, let me look up. Okay. Come on, Spotify. Come on. Okay.
I can go first.
Please.
My song of the week is from the band Kneecap, who I'd never heard before, but heard of. And it's Get Your Brits Out.
Irish band?
Irish band, yeah. Recently banned, I think, from re-entering the States after their Coachella performance, which is hilarious. I'm surprised they let them in, knowing the recently has been happening at the fucking border, but could happen to me.
I mean, it's probably for the best. There's nothing good here.
Yeah. But that's my track. It's a banger. We nearly had 1,000 saves. 818. That's sick.
Crazy.
That's so sick.
I'm gonna do North Poles by Samia from her new album because I need to add yet another Samia song to the Kelliot Song of the Week playlist, because it's great. Beautiful album. So that's my contribution.
And there you have it, everyone. The newest songs added to the Kelliot Song of the Week
with the new art.
Incredible.
That's what that's all about.
It is. We're constantly updating, constantly changing, constantly evolving, and
constantly finding new facets of yourself to find shiny.
When we stop learning about ourselves, we stop being ourselves.
Yes. And then
write that down, guys. That's a perler.
Whoa. Wow. Rick Rubin.
Who? Rick Rubin who? Rick Rubin who? What's his book called?
Boobin.
The Creative... Every time I see a reel that starts with, I've just been reading this book and it's the Rick Rubin book. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we about to say? Was it that compelling that it made you feel more real?
Oh my God. I'm going to do a video essay on him one day.
Rick Rubin. Rick and Morty.
Rick
and
Boobin.
Rick Boobin.
His book looks like a boob.
Me when I'm at the water park, Rick Tubin. When I'm at the lazy river, Rick Tubin.
Oh, bro, I have not floated in like a lazy river. That would cure me. That would cure me.
Yeah, that's every time I'm in a body of water, I'm like, this is nice, but put me in a tube and put me
in a
me down a
tube.
lazy river.
Give me a cold beer.
Yeah. And a nice sunset. UV's nice and low. No need for sunscreen. You know, just let me relax and in a nice warm hue.
Yeah. No children.
No loud splashes. There's a little a pool. There's a shared pool in my building, right?
Where the seagulls go?
Yes. And around the pool is a little pond kind of area with these tiles that you have to step over, and there's like gaps between the tiles. Yesterday I'm hearing outside a few kids and their parents playing around out there just looking at the fish in the pond, right? And I'm hearing, haha, look at this. These kids couldn't be older than 5. And I hear a short little beat and then a splash. A mum going, shit. And then a kid crying. And I went, the kid fell. I was like, there's no way. I've been waiting for someone to fall into that fucking pond. I'm like, it'd been raining. It was slippery. And I was like, gold. Kid fell right in there. Like, come on, get you inside.
How deep is the pond?
I don't think very deep at all. It didn't sound like a big, but I think for safety reasons, just a little shit. It's the first time you'll hear your parents swear when you fuck up, and then or something. I remember I first time I heard my mum swear, I had this sour lolly, right? And I was told, oh no, I wasn't told, but I was just in my head. It made sense. I had a sour lolly and a Gatorade, and that was like something I bought from the shop from the money I was giving for my mum to run up, get something from the shop, come back down. Little sour lolly was too sour for me. I was like, oh, Gatorade will purify sweet will counteract. It just lubricated it, made it go right down the throat. I was choking on it, and then hear my mum go, shit, came over and started Heimlich, got it out. And I was like, what was that word you just said?
Back to that word, mother.
That word? What did you say, mother? You should have let me choke before using the devil's word, mother. That was a hardcore Christian. Good stuff. Well, thank you, everyone. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Pa, 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 pa. You'll see the 3 of us, everyone, over on the bonus episode over at patreon.com/kelliotpod. Or no, this one is /kelliot. This one is, hang on, /kelliot. It's not kelliot pod. It's just /kelliot. Unlike everything else that we have, it's just kelliot. Love that.
Maniac set everything up, but it's
yes. But we'll be chatting all things everything. So please come over there and enjoy if you would like. $5 a month. And you get access to the whole backlog and other cool stuff that we've posted in the past.
If you are desperate for content, like I am every single day of my life, desperate for a crumb of content.
Yeah.
That's the place for you.
If you're like, damn, every fortnight I would like some chat. Just some chat. I don't know. I don't want this design. I just want some OG, the original Kelliot. So true.
I'm just going to start doing that now.
I think you've already been doing that.
I know. I'm gonna ramp it up because I've withheld sometimes. I've had. I'm like the thoughts coming. I'm like, no.
It really kills the conversation.
Don't bring Taylor Swift up again.
Not again.
Again.
But we'll see you over there, everyone. So thanks so much for joining us. See you later. Bye.
Bye.